You know, it's been 24 hours since the news hit, and it still just does not feel right inside my soul. I still am extremely not only upset, but really disappointed in the whole situation that went down yesterday at Microsoft with 9,000 people losing their jobs, up to 4% of the workforce. Now, Microsoft is a huge company, so you're going, well, it's only 4,000 or 4%. Well, that's 9,000 people across the entire Microsoft company. And, a majority of that was from Xbox, with them closing down the initiative and closing, like, limiting turn 10, 50%. The people behind Forza Motorsport that released banger after banger after banger, eliminating them by 50%, their entire workforce. And then, of course, Everwild being canceled, as well as Perfect Dark. It was not a good day yesterday if you support Xbox. And me personally, guys, I've been beating the drum for Xbox for a while. I really like what they were doing, the future of Xbox, and really they made me look like an idiot. They made me look like an idiot. But hey, please do me a favor. I'm an idiot. I know I'm an idiot, but can you at least subscribe? Help this idiot out. But I'm gonna do something, man. You see this Xbox hat? You see this Xbox hat? Xbox made me feel like an idiot. So much so that when all the layoffs were going on, when people were losing their job, when people didn't know how they were going to pay their bills, pay their rent, pay their mortgages, what was Phil Spencer doing? He was playing Indiana Jones. I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen. This was all happening live on Colt Eastwood's podcast. Colt Eastwood was doing a live stream where he was talking about the layoffs and everything. And Colt Eastwood has Phil Spencer on his gamer tag. He went and checked, and guess what Phil Spencer was doing? Playing Indiana Jones, giving zero cares about anyone that was laid off. We heard the political corporate speak going, "Oh, Count's never been higher, but we had to make tough decisions." Blah 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 blah. Xbox has let me down. It has let gamers down. And this isn't the first and last time that we're going to have layoffs. PlayStation does layoffs. Don't forget, like a year or two ago, Jim Ryan flew out to a studio, took pictures, celebrated and everything. 2 weeks later, let go and closed the whole studio. So this is just this is what corporate people do. You do not become a $3.6 trillion company unless you're completely cutthroat. You're a shark. You're just going to devour people and do not care about anybody's life. That does not excuse them, but that's the way corporate world works, ladies and gentlemen. That's why they get ahead, because they will step on the necks of anyone that gets in their way. But today, I want to talk about my disgust of Xbox and how I feel like a complete idiot for trying to support them, going, hey, they're going down this direction. I like this direction. You see this Xbox hat? This Xbox hat is no longer going to be on my head, ladies and gentlemen. I'm switching it over to my Yankee hat, ladies and gentlemen. I'm switching my Yankee hat, and this Xbox hat is going right in the trash where it belongs. It belongs in the trash, because what Xbox did yesterday is inexcusable. It's not like, it's so ridiculous. The fact that you're going to sit there and lay off people, laying off is one thing, but then canceling all these projects. You literally showed Perfect Dark a year ago. Now there's rumors coming out that was not even real gameplay. That was just all in engine cutscenes, vertical slice, like a demo thing. Like, it was nowhere near being done. It comes to a point where you look at the leadership and you go, maybe the leadership is the problem. Maybe you should get rid of the leadership. And I'm not going to blame everything on Mr. Indiana Jones, Phil Spencer. I'm not going to blame everything on him, because at the end of the day, if Satya's like, get rid of this many people, you have to get rid of this many people. Otherwise, you're going bye-bye. And the guy behind you, he'll do what you didn't do. It was going to happen one way or another. Phil Spencer's hands are tied in this. Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, all their hands are tied. This whole speech that he gave, saying, I feel bad, blah, blah. Look, that's all corporate stuff. This is what happens in the corporate world. I'm not excusing Phil Spencer, but at the end of the day, if he wasn't going to do it, Satya was going to find someone else to do it. It wasn't just Phil Spencer. If Phil Spencer gets an email going, you have to eliminate 50% of turn 10, you need to eliminate 50% of turn 10. As someone who was in management that sees how things go behind the scenes, if you're not going to comply with the request of your superiors, then they will find someone that will. That's just the sad facts of thing. But what gets me mad more than anything is the poor leadership from the very top. We're talking about from Satya all the way down to Philly Spencer, because it's no different if you have a football team, baseball team, or a basketball team, a sports team, right? Let's look at the Dallas Cowboys. Not trying to upset anybody here. Dallas Cowboys haven't been relevant in about 30 years. They haven't won a Super Bowl since the early 90s. They are completely irrelevant. No matter what head coaches, what players you get, they're never going to win. Why? Because the guy in charge, the guy writing the checks, Jerry Jones, he is the guy running your stuff. He is the guy that's constantly, he's stepping his bounds over. He's not just an owner, but he's doing all the other stuff as well. He's the general manager of the team. And as long as you have someone like that who is a bad leader running your team, running your company, then the people down below are going to suffer. In this case, the players. You are going to have great talent coming from your players and your developers and so on. But if you have someone at top like Satya or Jerry Jones who are good businessmen but make stupid mistakes, whether it's running their team or running Xbox or running game division, the people that's going to suffer is ultimately the fans and the workers, this case the players / developers. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Until Microsoft gets people on Xbox that won't fumble so much, it's what's going to happen. I don't see anything changing for Xbox anytime soon. The fact that Perfect Dark got canceled, that was the game I was looking forward to the most. And Xbox had such great, potential going forward. They're having an awesome year when it comes to games and Game Pass. But when we get news like this and you see Phil Spencer just playing Indiana Jones giving 0 Fs about anybody, it definitely makes me sad. And it makes me disgusted as a player. And again, I don't think switching over to PlayStation is the answer. Full transparency, I play everything. Doesn't matter if it's Switch, PlayStation, Xbox. I mean, I'm mostly PC. Doesn't really matter because, like I said, it had no problem when Jim Ryan went over to a studio, cut cake, and took pictures with everybody. 2 weeks later, completely just demolished that whole studio. And let's not also forget that PlayStation also has 12 canceled games this generation alone. Also, they have this whole thing with Marathon and Fair Games that are probably going to end up getting either really delayed or canceled, which is adding more to that. So it's more of a this generation sort of thing. These companies and these shareholders are really kind of ruining the business of creativity with gamers. It's just not an Xbox problem. It's a PlayStation Xbox problem. You don't see this from Nintendo because Japan has different laws and rules. You see this with Xbox and PlayStation because they don't care. They don't care. It's all about the shareholders. And even though Nintendo has shareholders, Nintendo has a great business model. And as long as Xbox and PlayStation continue to try to hit these margins and make sure there are increases for the shareholders, then billionaires are going to be billionaires. And unfortunately, developers and gamers are going to have to suffer. But hey, if you guys can help me out, do me a massive favor. Click that like and subscribe button. It will help me push this channel forward and help build the channel even more. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy and stay safe.